We often fear not because something is directly threatening us, but because it could take power away from us. The real fear is not immediate harm, but loss of control, a fear rooted in history. When someone gains too much power, they can belittle or assault others and often get away with it because the victim is too powerless to defend themselves. This fear occurs when people claim to seek equality. We worry that their true intention might not align with their words. With attention spans shrinking and emotionally charged content spreading quickly, as seen in research from Cambridge University that social media users are nearly twice as likely to share negative news over positive, any threat to our well-being, no matter how small, feels like the last straw. The idea of shifting power dynamics, where someone might misuse power, whether intentionally or not, triggers our deepest anxieties. Fear, though a natural defense mechanism, isn't always helpful. Take the bench theory. When someone sits on your bench, it feels like a personal attack, even though they're simply becoming equal. The discomfort is really about a shift in power dynamics. It's a natural fear, but it sounds a little silly, right? The problem is that fear, while natural, can be unreasonable, and in the modern world, it often works against us. If something happens that we think justifies that fear, trigger ancient defense mechanisms wired into our DNA. The prey response. Like prey animals facing a predator, we sometimes go on the offensive to scare off a threat, or at least go down fighting. While this may have served us well in the hunter-gatherer era, today it can create a self-fulfilling prophecy. For example, if you fear trans women assaulting cis women, and then hear they're using the women's bathroom, you may see that as proof your fear was right. This can lead to aggressive action, like making public statements that result in backlash or being cancelled, causing you to lose the very power you had against the threat, even though said threat is just someone who wants to use the bathroom. This fear and paranoia often leads people to act aggressively towards things they don't understand, creating more problems than solutions. This is where what I call higher thinking comes in. It doesn't mean you stop feeling fear or emotions. It means you take a step back and think through why you're afraid. For example, consider the idea of someone transitioning to become or pass as a trans woman. Think about the immense effort and challenges involved in that process. Would someone who objectifies and sexualizes women be willing to go through that process just to use the women's bathroom? That doesn't seem likely. In fact, a 2019 study of 120 serial and non-serial offenders found that the majority of them held deep misogynistic views, calling women dangerous, untrustworthy, and provocative. Does that sound like someone who would even consider dressing as a woman? Anyway, the key points are: fear is normal, but if you let it control you, you will lose power and your fear may come true. Question your fear. Ask why you're scared. Do research. Replace assumptions with facts. And challenge your perspective. If your original idea is wrong, ask why you were scared in the first place and who might be behind it.